All right, welcome back to the channel. This is God of Heroics, your host, and I want to talk about Sparking Zero. Yes, it has become a bit of an addiction, and everybody is on the Sparking Zero bandwagon. But today I want to talk about the roster because we now have a full 182 characters known to us, including the pre-order bonuses, and we also know that we're getting DLC. And with that DLC, there will be 20 plus characters added to the game. We're going to talk about the characters for the base roster, or rather the characters that were not on the base roster. See, with 182 characters out, that is a large selection of characters to pick from, but that also means that there are a lot of characters that will not be in it. My first pick for characters that should have been in the game, I'm just going to give it to you GT fans and just say Super 17. Now, while I know about the entirety of GT story, like I've said before, I'm not a huge fan of it. But I can say that in Tenkaichi 3, Super 17 was one of the more fun androids that I got to play next to, well, 17. And I gotta say, not putting 17 in is pretty much highway robbery. I can't even say that I understand why he's not in it, because they showcased pretty much every other part of GT aside from the more cringe parts. I'm looking at you, Para Dance. But they got pretty much every other character, so not including 17 just seemed to be a bit of a steal, especially considering his fight with Super Saiyan 4 Goku was very amazing. But moving along from him, I want to talk about another character that I personally liked in BT3 and in the Raising Blast games, and that is Zangya, one of the teammates for Bojack, one of his henchmen. This lady was everything. She had a particular voice line with Krillin and a voice line with 18, if I remember correctly, where she would like kind of flirt with Krillin, and 18 would basically tell her that she's, you know, not deserving of Krillin and whatnot. But even aside from that, I do like Zangya. Her design is great, her moveset was great, she was very unique, and there was a lot of room in here to improve her from what she was in BT3 and Raging Blast. She definitely wasn't forgotten, and I really wish that she was still in the game. Next up on this list, I want to roll back to GT because we were robbed of two other characters, and that being Ice Shenron and Nova Shenron. They're going to share a spot here on this roster for me, and it's mostly because their designs are basically the same, pretty interchangeable. Their movesets may not be the same, but designs pretty much. Even with their designs being pretty much the same, their movesets were very diverse. You get Ice Shenron, who would have the ability to freeze / stun his enemies in place, allowing him to pull off bigger attacks. And then you would have Nova Shenron, who would have the ability to burn his opponents, giving them damage over time. And I feel like this was a very missed opportunity gameplay wise, but I can kind of see why these characters were not included. When it comes to dragons, you got to get Shin Shenron and Omega Shenron, and that's far more important. And another character that I thought was going to be in it, considering that we were talking about tournament of power characters, was Android 18. So we do have the Android 18 in the future, future arc with Trunks, and we got the Android 18 who is pretty much the same character who was in the Android saga with Cell and Android 17. But we didn't get 18 in Super with her tracksuit, and I feel like that's a missed opportunity because we got 17, who, yes, is very important, but we got Ribrianne, who has a one-on-one with Android 18. So unless 18 is gonna get a tracksuit as like an alternate outfit on the base 18, I don't see why they would skimp out on that, especially since we have Android 17 and then Android 17 and Super as two different characters. I suppose you could say they have different movesets, but even then, a lot of the moves that 18 did in the Dragon Ball Super anime could be considered her own moves, like that extremely powerful punch that she gave to Ribrianne, that back and forth key blast technique she did with Krillin, that could be one of her other specials. But I don't know, maybe they're saving her for a future story. Maybe when they do the Dragon Ball superhero stuff, they'll include her in that, since she was a huge part of that battle with Cell Max. The next character, I'm gonna put them together on this list, Champa and Vados. Now, Champa, mostly because of his battle with Beerus and how they kind of went back and forth. I think it would be kind of fun to replicate a fight like that between the two gods of destruction, and Vados there to reflect how Beerus has Whis on his side. Now, there's, to my knowledge, no easy way around Whis and his auto dodging. It seems pretty solid, like there's no drawbacks to it, but more importantly, we didn't have any kind of reflection of the other universe. Like, we got Beerus and Whis, but we didn't get Champa and Vados, even though they're important players in the battles that led up to the Tournament of Power, the Universe 6 tournament, or the I don't remember what they called it, but pretty much the Universe 6 tournament where they fought over that wish with the Super Dragon Balls that led to the Tournament of Power even existing in the first place. So even if we didn't want to add Vados and probably just make her an alternate outfit for Whis, maybe we could have just gotten Champa. I would have been okay with that. A character that I do feel like we were skipped out on is End of Z Uub. Now, we got Uub for the GT stuff, but the End of Z arc has Goku fight Uub at the World Martial Arts Tournament. And Uub showcases a lot of interesting skills that could be used as his base martial arts skills and even for his ultimates. And in fact, the DLC in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot that gave the End of Z tournament also showed off a lot of moves that Uub could have that could have been replicated or mixed up a little bit to be put in Sparking Zero. I really wish we had gotten that character. That would have been amazing to me. Another character we skipped out on, which sucks, we got Janemba, Super Janemba, and then we got Z Gogeta, but we didn't get Pikkon. Pikkon, to my knowledge, is a very beloved character. In fact, one of my friends brings him up every chance he gets in a conversation, being like, oh, how strong can Pikkon be now? You know, he was powerful enough to one-shot Cell back in the day, so, you know, if he kept up his training in Otherworld, how strong would he be? And I'm pretty sure Pikkon wouldn't be considered a wasted slot to most players. Like, Pikkon's moveset was very unique and special to him in particular, and he's very important with Goku's training, so getting him would have been great. But talking about characters that we missed out on, again, I have to go back to GT because we missed out on Vegeta. We got baby Vegeta, you know, super baby, and then super baby 2, super grade 8 baby Vegeta, super grade 8 baby Vegeta, but we didn't get Vegeta. We could have just gotten base Vegeta and then Super Saiyan Vegeta, and then make, you know, Super Saiyan 4 its own separate character if you want. Either way, I feel like we got cheated. I'm pretty sure, you know, Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta is what everybody really wanted to see, but I honestly think that it would have been nice just to have the regular base Vegeta who could go Super Saiyan. So I feel like the love trio, Ribrianne, Rosie, and I think her name was Kakunsa? Anyway, that trio's in this game, and they all are in their final forms. Now, I feel like we should be allowed to have them in their base forms with these, what would you call them, magical world transformations, being things that they could transform into. And then you could even have, like, you know, their individual cutscenes where they were actually transforming into their new looks. It was pretty much already laid out for us and outlined in the anime, so I don't know why we couldn't get them in the game, especially since we did see them in combat with 17, and I think 18 fought one of them, and Goku was in that battle somewhere. So I don't know why we couldn't get them in their base forms. In my opinion, their base forms are not that bad. At least Ribrianne's, in my opinion, is better than her ultimate form. I really don't like this magical world transformation form that Ribrianne has, never have. Kakunsa's is cool. Kakunsa's is way better than her base, I would say. Rosie's kind of up in the air. But for my last pick here, I saved the best for last. It should be Demon King Piccolo. We got Goku Teen, and with all the stuff going on with episode battles and how you can change different routes and you even create your own custom stories, I feel like it was really a waste not to give us Demon King Piccolo, because at the very least we could have just done the last World Martial Arts Tournament in Dragon Ball, but we didn't even get that. Like, I feel like that character should have been included so that we could have something to do with OG Dragon Ball, and not including him pretty much just made Teen Goku just sort of stand alone, and he doesn't have any real story that he could go through. There's nothing that he can be included in. He's not even going to be, as far as I know, there'd be no point in putting him in the episode battle story with Goku and all that. I think that's all starting with the Raditz stuff, so OG Dragon Ball Goku is just on the roster just to have a slot filled out. And if that's the case, I feel like they should have just waited and done a Dragon Ball DLC. But anyway, that's going to do it for me today. Please leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my picks? Do you have alternate characters that you would like to see? Please let me know in the comment section below. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.